Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jen and this is Barlow. He's helping me today. He's not really, but he thinks he is. So I've been wanting to do this for a while. What I am going to show what I've done today is to make what I'm calling a get home bag. So basically I work, it's around 45-minute drive, but it's like a 25-minute one-way mile, 25 miles one way from my work to my house, and you know, that's generally the farthest and I wouldn't say that's the farthest I go, but that's where I go on a regular basis, and not necessarily in a shit hits the fan scenario or anything like that. I want to be prepared in case I have to walk home. Say my truck breaks down and I can't get a hold of anybody to come tow it or something along those lines. I want to be able to get home safely, or at least be able to have a little bit of creature comforts if I have to shelter in place or something along those lines. So I got this little bag. It is not a very big bag. This is going to be designed to go in the space behind my rear truck seats. I've got a little throw blanket that I have rolled up. It is, I'm not going to unroll it because then it's going to be a pain in the ass for me to roll it out. But it is, it's a decent size one. It's like one of the 60-inch long ones. I've got it rolled up. That I can shove in the bottom of my bag. I'll put the bag over here. Then what I've got is I've got one of these, it had bungee cords in it, which I use for other stuff. I've got this container where I've got a contractor garbage bag. I've got a pair of, they are Nitro garden gloves. I got them the other night at Walmart and they're on clearance. It's September. They're on clearance in my area, the Nitro garden gloves. I've got a little roll of, it's Gorilla clear tape. I did buy some duct tape, but I found this and I was like, I never use this for anything, so I might as well throw this in here. I have a rain fly that I got from a friend who was throwing out her tent. It's not a big rain fly. It wouldn't even, if I was laying down, it probably wouldn't even go from my toe to my head. But if I needed to shelter somewhere outside of, say, my truck, I could use this to cover up some of the area. And I've got this contractor trash bag, which is probably about almost as tall as me. So I could wrap myself up in my blanket and stick my feet, or, you know, most of my body in this contractor bag, and I could have a rain fly above the rest of my body that's exposed if, you know, if something like that were to happen. I've got some paracord, unknown amount of length, just something that was laying around the house. I do have some short bungees. These are not very long. I've got 5 bungees, and I've got them in an old bungee cord container so that their hooks stay contained, and they stay contained with the rest of my stuff. So in this container, I've got my bungee cords. I've got a rain fly from an old tent. I've got a little bit of wrapping of paracord. I've got Gorilla tape. I've got Nitro garden gloves. Roll them up nicely and shove them in there. And then I've got a contractor garbage bag, which can be used for multiple things. Like I said, it's pretty much almost as big as me, So if I needed to use it to make a shelter, I could. And I've got the bungee cords and the paracord, and I've got tape and a rain fly, all in this same container. And I just put the lid on, and this goes in the bag. All right, before I get to my next little bucket, I've got, this is a headlamp. It is always in my truck in my glove box anyway. It's a USB charged headlamp. That goes in the glove box in my truck. I've got a pair of sneakers. So I am not really allowed to wear sneakers at work. So generally the shoes that I wear at work are not great for walking through any type of a situation. These have a pretty slick bottom, so they wouldn't be good if I had to walk over slippery terrain or anything like that. But these are better than the shoes that I generally wear to work. I've got 2 different pairs of socks in each of these. I've got a shorter pair of socks and a longer pair of socks. I've just got them shoved inside these shoes. These shoes go inside inside where the cup holders go in the back. In the driver or the passenger doors in the back. I might be able to, I think I can probably shove them behind one of the back seats in the compartment back there with this bag. I'll have to see if that'll work. Otherwise, they're just going to stay shoved in the cup holders on the side of the door. Alright, I've got 2 bottles of water, and they are they're kind of just for show because I don't have, I want to buy some that are unopened. These have been opened and refilled. They will work, I guess, in a pinch. I'm not overly excited about having plastic water bottles in my truck. I do want to store a couple bottles of water. I live in an area where it gets freezing in the winter, and I am a little nervous of these expanding and breaking open. So what I want to do is, I could probably actually keep these in the cup holders in the back of the truck too. I wanted to put them in the back with the rest of my stuff, but these would probably be safer to go in the cup holders in one of the back doors. Alright, my next, actually, does this have a little bit of room? This container still has a little bit of room, so I am going to shove this. This is a multi-tool. It is, I will admit, it is not a very good multi-tool. I got it at a job that I used to work for as a reward for I don't know what. It's got a plier, it's got a Phillips head screwdriver, it has a knife, a can opener, another knife that's good for sawing through logs and things like that. It's not very big. I've got it wrapped up in this plastic bag because I had to spray WD-40 on it to get the knives to work. Honestly, I usually have better wrenches in my truck. I always carry wrenches and things like that in my truck, so I've got something better in my truck that I can use. It's more things to take with me, but I have it, and I'll have this in here if I need it. Now, my last container, these are baby wipes. There's about 10 of them. I pulled them out and put them in a couple snack bags, and then put them again inside this Ziploc sandwich bag. I don't expect these to stay damp forever. I'm assuming that these bags are really not the greatest, so they are going to dry out, but they're good to have. I think I'm going to check this. I'm going to check my get home bag once a year. In this bag, I have a little bag that has some gauze pads. It's got some regular Band-Aids. It's got some, I'll pull it out. It's got some gauze in it. It's got some regular Band-Aids. It's got a Neosporin. It's got some of those knuckle and other bags, and it's just a random bag I got from the hospital where the one half of it has the Band-Aids and stuff, and then there's a Ziploc part that you can stick biohazard stuff in. So if you cut yourself, you can throw whatever you're using to wipe up the blood or, you know, whatever into the other part and Ziploc it separately. I just, you know, I have a bunch of Ziploc bags in here that I could use for that anyways. So this is kind of first aid supplies a little bit. I've got hand sanitizer. I have this double wrapped in Ziploc bags. It's alcohol, so I really don't think it will freeze in the winter, but I don't want it to leak out. And let's see. This little container is, it's just a little silicone container that I got to, I think you could put lip balms and stuff like that in it, homemade lip balms. Anyways, I have in here, I have just a little bit of, probably like 10 Advils and 8 or so Benadryls. I don't usually use Benadryl. Pretty much the only thing that I ever use if I have headaches or something like that is Advil. But I figured the Benadryl would be okay to have just in case. Just in case, you know, I was out in the wild or trying to get home and I got stung or something, or something to that effect. I'm not allergic to bees, but the Benadryl is, you know, just pretty good to have. And of course the Advil. That's about the only thing that I really ever use anyway, is Advil. I've got two containers of little pouches of tuna. I saw these at Walmart the other day, and I was like, ooh. I knew I was going to be preparing this get home bag, and I was like, well, if I would want to have some food. So I've got 2 of these. I do have some extra room in this box, and I plan on getting some just granola bars or protein type of bars. I'm going to get those next time I go to the Stewart's. I'll just grab a couple singles. I didn't want to buy a multi-pack of them because I usually don't eat them, and I usually don't eat tuna either, but if I'm hungry and I'm out in the wild trying to walk home, this is a quick snack. And I've got also a couple, just two electrolyte packets to add to water if I needed them. And that is pretty much all I have in this. It's not a lot. It is meant to be light. It's not going to be a heavy duty backpack of any sort. It's not going to be heavy to carry. Shove all my things back in here. This is another container of from when I have bought bungee cords in the past. Apparently I like to get bungee cords. Actually, I use bungee cords a lot with my business and using them. And I actually have a crap ton of bungee cords in the truck. I've got all kinds of other stuff that I always keep in the truck because of vending. I have a bag full of bungee cords. I have a bag full of various stakes, large stakes, the corkscrew stakes. I have weights, they go on the ends of barbell weights. I've got some of those. I should take those out of the truck. I don't think I need them in there. But I've got a lot of various stuff that just kind of hangs out. I've got a hammer. So I have enough stuff to probably go tenting. Alright, so these will go in the bag, and of course the bag is not going to shut, but this is meant to just be a tiny pack to just throw it on my back, and it's very light. I mean, there's nothing to it. I would have the shoes on. I like the idea that I'm a little bit prepared, and you know, if I break down and there's something, you know, something happens. I've got a blanket in here. You know, if I have to stay in my truck, I got the blanket that can keep me warm. So let me know in the comments below if you guys have a get home bag. Have you thought about doing something like that? And what kind of items would you put in yours? And did you see anything that I should probably add to mine? My name is Jen. This is Views from My Backyard. This is my get home bag.